To find the confidence interval, you need to use the formula x bar minus the margin of error is less than mu is less than x bar plus the margin of error, where the formula for the margin of error is this: t sub alpha over 2 times the sample standard deviation divided by the square root of n. And this one we're going to be using a calculator, so we're not going to need these formulas here, but if you want to do it by hand, these would be the formulas you use. So, in a study designed to test the effectiveness of magnets for treating back pain, 20 patients were given a treatment with magnets, and 20 others were given a placebo treatment without magnets. Pain was measured using a standard visual analog scale, VAS. After given the magnet treatment, 20 patients had VAS scores with a mean of 5 and a standard deviation of 2.4. After being given the placebo treatments, the 20 patients had VAS scores with a mean of 4.7 and a standard deviation of 2.9. So for part A, we're going to construct a 95% confidence interval to estimate the mean VAS score for patients given the magnet treatment. So when we're using our calculator, we need to know a couple of things. First off, we need to know what our mean is, our x bar. In this case, for the magnet treatment, this is the information for the patients that had magnetic treatment. We had a mean of 5.0 with a standard deviation of 2.4 and an N value of 20 with a C level, confidence level, that is 0.95. So once we got all the information, we're actually just going to bring up our calculator and plug it in. So here's our calculator, and where we go to plug it in is going to be second to tests. And since we do not know the population standard deviation, we do not know sigma, and we're trying to find an interval, we're going to do t interval for this confidence interval. So hit enter, and we're going to put in our statistics. So x bar is going to be 5.0, just type in 5. Our S value is going to be 2.4. Our N is 20. And we are 95% confident of what this answer is going to be. Or our confidence level is going to be 95%, excuse me. So we calculate. It's going to think about it for a second. And then it's going to pop out an answer at the top that says 3.8768 to 6.1232. And I'm going to round to 2 decimal places for these. So we're going to get 3.88 to 6.12 as our confidence interval for this question. So we are 95% confident that the true estimate for the mean VAS score is between these two values here. Now that's for the magnet treatment. Let's go on and do one for the placebo treatment. So again, we need to know the exact same values. We need to know our x bar, and that's going to be here on this sentence giving us our information. We have an x bar, a mean of 4.7. We have a sample standard deviation S of 2.9, an N value of 20 again. And how confident are we? Our confidence level is again 0.95. So now that we have everything here, we're going to bring up our calculator again and plug in our information and get a confidence interval for this group of patients. So again, stats, tests, and we're going to go to t interval since we do not know the sample the population standard deviation. So we're doing 8 for t interval and plug in our x bar, which is 4.7, our sample standard deviation 2.9. Still have 20 people and still 95%, so leave those alone. Hit enter. It'll think about it again, and then it'll pop up an answer at the top that says 3.3428 to 6.0572. And I am again going to round to 2 decimals. So 3.34 to 6.06. So we are 95% confident that the true mean VAS score for patients given the placebo treatment are between these two numbers here. Now we got all this information, but what does it all mean? Comparing these two results, does the treatment with magnets appear to be effective? Well, we can see our confidence interval up top with the magnets and the one in the bottom without the magnets. And we can see that the scores are relatively close. A little bit of a difference on the first two numbers, but the second two numbers are pretty darn close. So does the treatment with magnets appear to be effective? I would say that the answer is nope. The confidence interval, I'll abbreviate as CI, are fairly similar. Let me just remove the calculator out of the way so I got more room. They're fairly similar. So there isn't much difference between the two treatments. Since there isn't much difference between the two treatments, I would say the magnets don't appear to be all that effective in treating back pain.